Hi, boys. Welcome to this Daddy Cast about science and the major groups of vertebrates. Here's a Bible verse from Genesis 1:25. God made the wild animals according to their kind, the livestock according to their kinds, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was so. Okay, you know the different parts of the classification system. There's the domain, the kingdom, and the phylum. Right now we're talking about the phylum, I guess, of the vertebrates. What are the major groups of vertebrates? Fish, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, and birds. Vertebrates, like all chordates, vertebrates have a notochord, pharyngeal pouches, a dorsal hollow nerve cord. However, in vertebrates, the notochord is replaced during development by a backbone. We'll learn about what notochord, nerve cord, and pharyngeal slit are down here. All vertebrates are bilaterally symmetrical, the same on both sides of their body. They are coelomate animals that have an endoskeleton. They have their skeleton inside their body instead of like an exoskeleton like insects have, that hard shell on the outside. They have a closed circulatory system, an efficient respiratory system with lungs and muscles and stuff, and a complex brain and nervous system. Fishes, bony fishes, all fishes are ectotherms, animals with a body. The term chordate is used to refer to any animal belonging to the phylum Chordata. We can refine chordate as follows. Okay, they have a notochord. What's this? Showing it in a dog. Notochord, a rod such as a backbone, extending down the length of a body for support. All right, so your spine, your backbone. Fish have a backbone that you have to pull out of them when you're going to eat them. I guess birds have backbones. Reptiles, you think about a snake, it's got that long, snaky vertebrae column, right? Okay. Then there's the nerve cord. Oh, the brain and the spinal cord or the nerve cord, and then the nerves go to all the different parts of the body. A nerve cord that runs along the length of the animal's body and becomes the animal's nervous system. And then a pharyngeal slit. Your pharynx is part of your throat. So a pharyngeal slit. A pharyngeal slit is an opening between the body cavity and the outside of the body that is usually only present in the early stages of development. So I guess that's something that's there while your body's developing, but then it closes up. That's interesting. I did not know that. But apparently all chordates have that as part of their development. Okay, chordates. The Latin chorda is cord or string. And that's probably because you have this cord of the backbone. Notochord, Greek notos for back and chordae for cord, is a rigid cartilage rod that is present at some stage of development in all chordates. So in humans, it's cartilage and turns into bone, I guess, in our backbone. Plus, there's cartilage between the different vertebrae. Coelomate, from Greek for a hollow cavity. The coelomic cavity is filled with a fluid known as cochlomic fluid, which serves to separate the organs from the outer body and ultimately works to protect the organs from mechanical shock or trauma. The disconnect between the organs and the outer body also allows for a greater range of movement and flexibility as the organs are unperturbed by minor displacements as the body bends or stretches. All right. Let's read some more about it all. Here's another Bible verse from Job 12. Ask the animals, and they will teach you, or the birds in the sky, and they will tell you, or speak to the earth, and it will teach you, or let the fish of the sea inform you. So we have the animals, the birds, and the fish. What are the major groups of vertebrates? Fish, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, and birds. Let's talk about an endoskeleton. From the Greek, means within, and skeleton from Latin, the bones within. It is a skeleton found within the interior of the body. It provides structural support and protection for the internal organs and tissues of an organism. Ectotherms, for ectos, outside of, and thermae, heat. Ectotherms are any so-called cold-blooded animals, that is, any animal whose regulation of body temperature depends on external sources, such as sunlight or a heated rock surface. So ectotherms live, well, let's talk about fish. I guess it's talking about fish now. Fish live and breathe in water and must breathe through gills, and they have fins and scales. They have backbones, and they are vertebrates. Fish are cold-blooded, which means their internal body temperature changes as the surrounding temperature changes. Fish have excellent senses of sight, touch, taste, and many possess a good sense of smell and hearing. Some of them can feel electric currents and stuff like that too. Fish feel pain and suffer stress, just like mammals and birds do. Fish eat other fish. Amphibians. Look, different stages of the amphibious life cycle. Amphibians are a class of animal like reptiles, mammals, and birds. They live the first part of their lives in the water and the last part on land when they hatch from their eggs. Amphibians also have gills so they can breathe in the water. They also have fins to help them swim, just like fish. Later, their body changes, growing legs and lungs, enabling them to live on the land. So they start out with gills, and they get lungs and live on the land. The word amphibian means two lives, one in water and one on land. There's another Bible verse, Genesis 1:24. God said, "Let the earth produce every sort of animal, each producing offspring of the same kind, livestock, small animals that scurry along the ground, and wild animals." And that is what happened. What are the major groups of vertebrates? Fish, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, and birds. Reptiles are animals that are cold-blooded. Most reptiles lay eggs and their skin is covered with hard, dry scales. Think about turtles and crocodiles and snakes. Nearly all reptiles lay shelled eggs. Reptiles breathe air. Reptiles are covered in scales or have a bony external plate, such as a shell. Nearly all reptiles are cold-blooded. Reptiles use a variety of methods to defend themselves from dangerous situations, such as avoidance, camouflage, hissing, and biting. And these are the animals that we feel the friendliest about. Mammals are warm-blooded animals. Their body temperature remains about the same their entire lives. Most mammals are born live, not from eggs. There are two mammals that hatch from eggs, including the spiny anteater and the duck-billed platypus. Most mammals are helpless when they are babies. A mammal is an animal that breathes air, has a backbone, grows hair at some point during its life. All mammal babies drink milk from their mothers. All mammals have teeth. Bats are the only mammals that can fly. Job 12:10 says, "For the life of every living thing is in his hand, and the breath of every human being." What are the major groups of vertebrates? Fish, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, and birds. Here's about birds. Let's learn about birds. Birds have feathers, wings, lay eggs, and are warm-blooded. There are around 10,000 different species of birds worldwide. Birds have hollow bones, which help them fly because it's lighter. The chicken is the most common species of the bird found in the world. Yum, yum. Who feels like chicken nuggets? Birds like to eat insects, seeds, plants, and sometimes even small animals. Like if you think about an eagle, eagles eat fish. While most birds live alone, there are some that live in pairs that are kept as pets. It is believed that parakeets, doves, and lovebirds like living with a partner so that they will have a companion. The penguin is unique in the bird world in a number of ways. They are the only bird that walks upright, but they also are the only bird that can't fly in the air, but that does have an ability to swim. All right. Hope you enjoyed this Daddy podcast about science and fish, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, and birds, which are the major groups of vertebrates.